See, now everything's synced up.
I'll use that. And we're back. Episode 4. Thor. Thank you for joining us again. I'm Jeff Babineau.
And I'm Michael Charles Thomas, the first.
And with us we have...
April Condon.
Hi, April. Thanks for joining us today.
April's awesome.
April is awesome. And we have said that in previous podcast recordings before, so...
And it wasn't sarcastic?
No, it was...
Are you sure?
It was full of genuineness.
Gravitas?
Oh. See, we brought her here because she knows big words.
And uses them correctly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, hi guys. Now, April, tell us what you do.
I teach graphic design, and I teach primarily the second year courses. But I do teach typography in first year, so I get to know them a little bit when they come to us. And I teach web and so many applications.
So Spider-Man? You teach Spider-Man? Yeah. Web slinging? Okay. Yeah, nice.
Mostly web design.
Web design, okay.
The front-end development, not necessarily the application, but worrying more about information structure, interface design, stuff like that.
Awesome. And you love it? You've been here a little while, you know?
Just like you, I do believe, this fall marks 20 years since I was a student in first year.
Oof.
Yeah. And
dramatic pause.
Yeah. But in May, it'll be 10 years that I've been teaching. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And so yet another graduate.
Yes.
That is back teaching, passing on the wonderful learningness.
Yes.
Yeah. And you've taught a few things too, right? You did...
Yeah, I taught, it was a post-secondary program called Interactive Multimedia. Mm-hmm. And it was a one-year program that actually graduates of the photography program, graphic design, took as a third year option.
Oh,
and
cool.
They sort of expanded on their skill set, and we did AV and programming and stuff now, but a lot of that curriculum has been rolled into the graphic design program and has been integrated into it. So, yeah, it's kind of a combo deal.
And do you guys in graphic design, you said you did the AV portion of it, like, you guys don't do the video stuff per much anymore?
No,
Per much anymore?
Not per much.
Per much?
AV used to be a dedicated course for us before in interactive multimedia, but now we look at it more as the motion graphics side of things. Yeah. Not like where you guys shoot live and do editing. We're like that, very light, but heavy in motion graphics.
Okay, so in other words, where the photography program in the second year actually offers a, I can't say a small introductory, it is an introductory, but then a little bit more than advanced DSLR video to do essentially things like this, recording proper sound, creating content. And then it can actually, we really should team up and say...
We could do some combo deals.
Graphics. And by the way, our students just finished working with your students.
Yeah.
And holy smokes, they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And wow, did they... Okay, first of all, your students had amazing ideas.
Yeah.
And
they're kind of smart that way.
Yeah. You picked them.
Yeah.
So
I've been grooming them
yes.
for creativity.
But the collaboration between departments was awesome. So I think in the new year, because our second year students don't start the DSLR video portion of their course outline until after Christmas. But when we do that, we would, graphic like motion graphics and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That would be fun.
They're just learning how to do logo animations. Actually, they have a project that's due for me tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And we do Adobe Animate as well as we teach them After Effects. So they get a little bit of experience in both.
Yes, I'm thinking that, and again, this is all kind of up in the air because I'm new, is to incorporate, start them on the video creation in a much easier software, say maybe iMovie, but then use the application or the techniques from that and move over to Premiere, which links up directly to After Effects.
Yeah.
So kind of take the
They work
step.
well together.
Yeah, exactly. That whole suite, which our students in photography use, the Adobe suite, we have access to it in our labs. Everything from Photoshop, Lightroom, Camera Raw, Premiere, even Adobe Audition.
Yeah.
Adobe Audition is great for getting rid of bad sound,
Yeah.
like crackly mics and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yes, I will be incorporating that into and teaching our lovely students. And I'm pointing to our one of our students is actually running the show behind the scenes. Thank you for doing that, running the sound and the camera, and helped with the setup. So, sorry, I'm just bragging about my students.
That's
They're
great.
so awesome.
Yep.
She is.
May I add another bragging point for one of our students not this past weekend, but the weekend before. We talked in the previous episode about the PPOC show that we had going on at the college. Now, I'm proud to say that one of our students, one of Holland College's students, had won the Student of the Year Photographer Award from the PPOC Atlantic, which was against not only photographers from all over the Maritimes, but it was also there was some from Quebec as well.
Nice.
So
Excellent.
Sullivan Christensen, or Sully as we call him, he brought home that award. So
That is a very nice feather in Solly's cap.
yes, he was very pleased, and I'm very pleased that that Sully got his work in.
Good.
Time, he's a very hard worker. So yes, and mind you, all of our other students actually showed very, very well, and they learned a lot from the judging as well. So yeah. So not just plugging Sully. They all had strong images. It's just that he had one of our students, Dylan, as well. He put an image in, and it actually got accepted into. It got a very high mark. So he was also in there. Now Sully had put in 2 prints, so he was. I guess that was the differential between why he won. So
That's great.
I'd love to give him all awards.
Good experience.
Yeah,
Good experience all over.
So, anyways,
Fantastic.
I'll stop talking about my students.
No, it's okay. I think a big part of what we do here at the college is make that connection between industry and our students, and introducing them to their professional counterparts and making those connections early. So it's not necessarily a cold call when they graduate. They have people out there that they've already connected with in a natural, professional way.
Yep.
That hopefully that feedback that they get from them carries on. That I'm sure they made some friends and some connections over the weekend.
Yeah, found out who could bowl and who couldn't bowl. There was there was fun nights at the convention. So yeah, looking forward to it next year. And
Oh, I'm getting verklempt.
no,
That's my water bottle.
okay. Last time when JS was here, we had to switch the chair because he broke the chair halfway through. We got the best chair for you.
Should I be
I'll lower
bumped up
mine.
a little bit here? No,
No, I'm really
okay.
low.
Oh Lord.
That's the stuff.
That's good for framing this kind of
Yeah, exactly.
mid-game and hitting my mic.
There's going to be sound effects in that,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I know you don't like the sound effects, but like.
It's not, I have to say this, it's not that I don't like the sound effects. I'm a full believer. Either you go all in, super cheese,
nice.
all crazy time, or you be professional and clean. It kind of felt awkward straddling the line.
So in other words, we should go
Uber cheese.
Yes.
Uber cheese.
Oh no. Yeah.
You've got to keep in mind that this guy is on. I'm so far the person that does the editing, so
He's got full creative control.
But you know what I mean,
That's
right?
good.
Like,
if I went,
Oh,
I
and
could
then we're
put sound
gonna hear.
effects in that, or you know,
I understand.
Like, okay, but I won't. Speech bubble above your head.
That is a direction. We could go there.
Yes. People, at least when they're watching it, need something to keep them entertained towards the end. By the way, we are going to have a contest at the end that you can win $1 million.
Nope. No.
False.
I,
Yes.
I don't think so.
Anything that we should be? Well, we're coming up to close to the end of the
semester.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff being done in our department. That's just a flurry of like shooting. The studio's booked. We're down to the last few programs and everything, but a lot of heavy shooting. Like some of our courses will actually, and I'm just pulling one off the top of my head, that they require to plan and shoot 7 images, 7 separate shoots.
Yeah.
Wow.
For one thing. So it's not easy. It's not like every single thing's going to come without some real effort and everything like that, but I'm super pleased with what they're producing now. So I'm seeing lots of improvement, and that makes me happy.
That's great. That's a good feeling. Perfect. Yeah. Busy in design too, eh?
Yeah, so in graphic design, we only have, like you guys, 3 more weeks in front of us. And our final week is a review week. So Mike and I are going to be spending a lot of quality time together. I apologize.
That's all right.
And
They don't fight.
And so we have one-on-one reviews with everyone at the end of the semester. So we look at their approximately 1 hour meetings with each one of them to go through highlights of the semester, what you can work on to be stronger, and sort of talk about the second half of the year and set them up for success coming back.
Yeah, because there's no real point of going and teaching someone up to a certain point and then leaving them behind, or not leaving them behind. That's the wrong word, but if they're going along and they don't, they could improve on a certain thing. You're guiding them to the right area, and it's really helpful. I guess too. They do that with our first year students as well.
And we do, like, we have daily critiques. Like, there's a critique happening every day for our students. And
I've told that to my students. And it's like, do you realize that you guys get 2 critiques a week and they have to do one every
5
day?
Yeah.
No complaining. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of verbal feedback, and then they get their marks, but then it's a completely different thing when we're able to sit down and look at the full depth and scope of the work that they've done in the semester, instead of just looking at it with blinders on.
Their goal, just like our department or all the departments, is they're building a portfolio. So you are trying to give them a direction, or make sure they're heading in the right direction for their portfolio.
Yeah.
That it's not all over the place.
And this is a great point. Like when you can, now's the time to catch pockets in portfolios. That if you're like, well, a lot of these shots look similar, or a lot of these designs are using the exact same typeface over and over again, or you're really leaning on orange a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like you can spy that when you have it all together in one piece. That maybe if you're doing the one assessment at a time, you might miss it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No.
So if we catch that now, then it's not an issue in April.
And that's sorry, Mike.
It becomes a huge flurry in April if you're fixing all your pieces while trying to put your portfolio together and get ready for the end of the year.
Yep.
It can be very hectic.
Yep.
So it's good to pick at it as they go.
Exactly. Yeah, and timing wise, where the end of the year comes up really, really quick. It's it's a little bit of our job, but again, it is the student's job to do that. But we're here to guide. We're here to teach, to manage. Yeah.
And it's the pacing too that if you gave the students all the requirements for graduation today, there'd be a lot of anxiety and stress. But basically our jobs is to hold it back and just slowly reveal in bite-sized pieces, and it's so achievable if you pace it out properly and hopefully not in a too stressful way. That's the goal.
Time management is a big part of all of our careers or all of our jobs. So time management on our part, but teaching time management to the students, and that's worth a lot right there, because getting things done to a client like you, the project that our students were working on, it was an art. I named it an art directed or working with an art director, because essentially that's what they were, coming up with an idea, bringing it in. They had the design, the concept, bringing it to our students, and then the students worked with the graphic arts art director essentially, and created a photo component of what they needed. And then, so that involved a lot of scheduling, booking the studios off, developing the feeling of what was needed, kind of the talk back and forth, and then providing the photos on a timely manner so that they could also get their deadline done as well.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's due later this week.
On the 1st, so this Friday.
On the 1st, yeah.
That their pieces, so it was either a book cover or magazine cover and spread that they had to do. And it's really, why I really like that project too, is that it connects the students in a way that they should be engaging with each other in the industry. So most of the time it's the designers that come to photographers and they have a problem that they need to solve. So they're already coming in with this challenge, and it's not necessarily looking to the photographer to come up with the creative, but to guide them into what is possible, what don't we know that could make it cooler, and help collaborate to get the visual solution right.
And there was a lot of guidance, or there was a lot of give and take on both sides of it, because I noticed that there was some students that came in with a general idea, but then the photographer said, maybe why don't we try this? And it worked. But it was that collaboration, you said, between the two artists to get that end product looking good. Now the numbers, the numbers. Now our department has smaller numbers. Your department has got higher numbers. So we actually had 2 projects per photography student, which at first I was a little worried. Okay, is that going to be too much work? But it worked out well, and the inspiration that came out of just going and doing that from the students. We got to a certain point of the year that maybe it was the ideas were starting to run out, maybe, or
Well, especially in your program where it's a lot of weight is on the photographers to come up with their own creative, right?
Yeah.
And so that's probably a little bit of a nice boost to sort of push them into some maybe areas.
Yeah, the creative well was getting a little bit dry, and then we went down to that meeting, and I could just see the sparks going off all the way around. It's and they came back, and it was oh, I'm doing this and like that. And in the process of doing these shoots, they learned a lot about the problem solving, about working with different types of light. There was some challenging lighting conditions that the graphic designers needed. So they and I got to sit in with them. It was great. It was very enjoyable. That being said about numbers, segue to we would love to have more people in all of our departments.
Yeah.
Because, if we don't have people in our departments, we can't pass on to the industry out there great and talented people. So if you're watching this and you have already subscribed, and you can pass this on to someone else and say, hey, check these weirdos out, and maybe encourage them to go and look at one of the visual arts programs at the college, because it's an option for a career. And we want people to apply. Some people are just afraid to apply or come in and talk to us about it. So,
There's a lot of questions that people don't have answers to when it comes to this sort of thing, especially if you're young or old and you're just starting to think, you know what, I might be interested in graphic design or one of the arts programs we have here, and that can be a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of a something.
It's scary to go, oh, is this really going to be the right fit for me, and stuff like that. So there's a few ways to do it. Dropping into our departments is sometimes a good thing, just to see things. All of our departments, again, we say this almost every single episode, all of our departments have Instagram pages that try to show a behind-the-scenes look at what is going on. And, of course, the Holland College recruitment does go around to different colleges and stuff like that. But even we've had high schools, bring students through here, and we give them a little tour, and we say, listen, if you're 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we actually had some students from my home province, Nova Scotia, come in and sit through one of our critiques with us, and I think they got to really see how interesting and fun and sometimes dysfunctional our critiques could be, and they learned a little bit about that. So they were a part of it. So we want people to apply, and there's links down below that will lead you, if you're interested, in all different programs, and you can contact any of us.
It's true. We could even cowboy this a little bit and just tell people all about the graphic design experience. We've got her here, so we might as well take the opportunity to talk about what it's like to apply for the graphic design program.
That's a good idea, because I noticed you've got a paper there.
I did bring a paper.
Yeah.
How much time do we have?
Oh, this is perfect.
Okay.
Oh, we've got good
Yes.
7 minutes. That's great.
One of the things that I think I get a lot of questions about is how to present your work. And it's something that we work on with our students over the course of 2 years. But if you're applying for the program, you have to make a strong impression, right?
Yeah.
And how you present your work says a lot about how you care about your work and what you're doing. So you need to... I've had people just rip things out of their sketchbooks and they're torn, or they look like they've been stuffed in the back of a kit bag,
Artists.
It's pretty rough. But it doesn't have to be an expensive option. It just has to be a neat and tidy option to present your work.
Yeah. So you're talking about when they apply to become to be applied to the graphic arts program.
Yes.
They do have to submit a portfolio. Where would they find that information?
So on our program page.
So on the
hollandcollege.com/programs/graphic design.
Perfect. Good.
Yes. And we do have two options when you're submitting that. You can submit a traditional portfolio, but by far that's how the majority of our portfolios come in. But I would say probably maybe 4 or 5 a year we'll get video submissions, which I actually really enjoy watching. They're awesome because you get to see a little bit more of their personality in them.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more relaxed. You're seeing them working in their environments and showing off their work. It's
almost like an audition tape too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which are very popular, which we teach you how to do that.
And so you can submit both ways, but really the more personality, as much as your character that you can show through your work, we can get a stronger feel of what you want to get out of the program. So,
Okay. And you have a lot of people that'll apply, and it's not for everybody, but
Yeah.
you also can refer if someone comes in and they may need, say, you would recommend to them, say, hey, maybe you should consider fundamental arts.
Yeah.
Or you're really into this, you could be very good in video game art and animation. Was that the correct title?
It was.
Okay,
It
good.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Chris Sharpley and
Tiffany Baxter.
Tiffany Baxter. Thank you very much. So yeah, we kind of want people to apply to all of our programs. Hi, Jess. People are sneaking in here and, trying to get stuff out and leaving their jackets behind. Anyways, we are probably coming down to the very close to the end of this podcast. 4 minutes? Okay. Well, anything else that you guys want to add in here? I don't want to cut you off on this, but I also don't want us to run over time.
No. What do you think? I think, of course, original work is what we're looking for from the most, as much as you can express of your own work and your own
Yes.
style.
We
That's
might,
big.
no copies.
No.
No copies.
Yeah, at this point, we
So-
want to see you.
Yeah.
And so this is interesting for you guys because you haven't gone through
Not yet.
portfolio assessment.
Yeah.
time.
No, I'm excited.
So
You could be my very first portfolio review. You know what I mean? That'd be a really kind of neat, memorable thing for my career.
yeah, we could
Yes.
videotape
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yes. Bring it. It'll be like, it's like a baby book. For
Yeah,
us,
that's right.
My first
remember
portfolio review. Yes.
Student.
Yeah.
What's his name? What's
Yeah,
her
so
name?
we want to see. So in other words, now we want to see tons of portfolios put in for all of our departments.
Yeah.
And fill these classes up because number one, I'm excited because the classes. I know my classes are going to get like even better than they are now. They're going to
Yes.
get really exciting because I'm just changing little things to make it a little bit more exciting. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to showcase that throughout the year and
Yeah.
next year and the year after that. And
Yeah,
and
the neat
whatnot.
ideas
So,
that are coming up.
yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, we're coming down to 2 minutes. Look at that, 2 minutes. She's giving
Nice.
us the 2 minute mark, or she's saying everything's okay.
Hey, okay.
So I'd like to thank April for coming and sitting in with
Yay,
us,
April.
and for episode number 4. And it's. You don't have to, but it's really, really nice if you want to share this. You can. We would be really appreciative of that. And smash the subscribe button so you can know when these come up. And tell your mom, share it with your dog, everything like that.
Give it as a Christmas present.
Christmas present, yes, Christmas coming up. You could just record all these and put them on an iPad and give them the iPad, and then they'll erase them. Anyway, so let's wrap this up. So we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And again, I am Jeff Babineau,
Mike Thomas.
and we are Visual Geeks. See you next time.